Our boys were
Wow.
2 and 3.
Okay, gentlemen,
And
I'd like to start the meeting. Thank you, it's 6 o'clock.
Exactly.
Exactly. Oof. All right. Changes to the published agenda. Anything down the table?
Not for me.
Okay. Minutes of the August 8th Select Board meeting. Actually, that should be
11.
August 11th.
August, wasn't it August 8th? I don't know, what date was it?
The 11th.
Well, we
So it
got
was the
8th here and the 11th here.
It was on the 11th.
It was on the 11th, so you're wrong.
I probably copied July's.
You might
Just
have.
changed it. Just changed the month.
Cut and
Okay.
paste.
August 11th, Select Board meeting. Any comments, questions, or errors or omissions?
No changes except for the date.
Huh?
No changes except for the date.
The date on the
No,
minutes?
the date on this is
Date of the
good.
minutes is good. Okay, good.
The minutes were good, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
I'll second.
need a motion?
Motion to accept is written.
And second.
Fine. Treasurer's report.
Revenue for August was $191,043.22. Expenditures were $78,201.36. The amount balance in the checking account was $905,004.79. Delinquent taxes owed to the town is $29,735.94. We have had a couple little ones pay off, and there's a couple of bigger ones that are supposed to be paying off.
What was that number again?
29,735.94. Did I not put that in yours?
No.
I don't know, you gave this
31.
to me maybe earlier than you got it on there.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
So what is it again, Calista? I'm sorry.
Oh, you don't have it either?
No.
29735.94.
29,735.94.
Okay.
Guess they did it after I read your copies.
Any questions, comments?
Make a motion that they be accepted as presented.
Second.
So done. All right. Highway status, Mr. Town on there?
No.
He's not?
You guys might need to unmute your laptop. The laptop just froze.
What did?
Sorry, just unmute yourself for a second while I get this rebooted. Thank you. Sorry.
Is that all right now?
If they can hear, you can see if they can hear you through the laptop.
Okay, if he's not on, I can report that the grant work that we had to have completed by September 30th, one was 20 Mile Stream ditches and culverts, and the other was Jenny Road ditches and culverts, two different types of grants. One was Better Roads over on 20 Mile Stream, the other was Grants and Aid on Jenny Road. They're both completed. The only thing we have left to do is hydroseed the cleared out areas on Jenny Road. 20 Mile Stream is completely done. So we will be in good shape to have everything completed and wrapped up paper-wise by the 30th.
Well, what did you say has to be done? Still on Jenny?
What's that?
What did you say still has to be done on
The
Jenny?
hydroseeding of the
Okay.
disturbed
Yep,
areas.
yep.
That was supposed to have been done Friday, but when Waters Construction came back from Colchester, they didn't have enough material left on the truck to do it. So
Got it.
they're gonna do it this Friday, so I'm told.
Thank you.
What else? think that's about it. I talked with Glenn today. I thought he was going to be on. I talked with Glenn today. He is going to start the grading and chloriding roads. They had a problem with the chloride trailer. They couldn't turn the pump on, so they fixed that today, and they're going to start grading and chloriding roads this week, probably through the end of the month. So I'm also going to ask Scott to get back on the roadside more when he works on Fridays if they're not chloriding roads. Get some of those trimmed up, brush and trimmed back before winter. Other than that, I don't have much on status.
Last month I asked about some road signs, and Glenn was supposed to get a list. I thought of missing ones to
In progress.
Did
Calista.
you get a list?
No, I've not gotten, he has not done anything but grant work.
Okay.
I know that. Might remind him again. Cause I know that he was doing the grant work. I did get all the pictures I need to submit the grants. When they hire Jenny, that'll finish up those, but I have them for in progress and the finished ones for 20 Mile Stream. He brought me all those.
Mark, Mount Scottney Regional Commission is coming out to review the work on Jenny Road as well, because that goes through them. That all goes through them.
Yes, both those grants do.
Better Roads too.
Oh, no, not Better Road.
No.
20 Mile Stream is Better Roads. Jenny is grants and aid,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if he doesn't get everything he needs from you or Glenn, he'll take his own pictures. Okay.
Yep.
We have been approved for another grant through Grants and Aid for $24,000 from them, $6,000 matching funds from us to do some additional work. It will be on Jenny Road or Town Hill. We're not sure exactly which one we'll prioritize, but it'll be on one or the other. Finish up Jenny Road down to Campton Bear, and or do Town Hill on the right-hand side going up from, can't think of the name of the farm, down to the sharp corner. It's right there at the top of the hill. Those are
This is to do what, Bob?
the
On the
ditch work.
ditch work.
And stone lining.
Okay.
Both of those are steep enough, so we've got to put stone in, especially the one on Town Hill. So that's it for highways,
Can I ask a question about grading?
certainly.
Only because I had to travel up to the top of Town Hill Road recently a few times.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the washboards are beastly to say the least. So what's the solution? Is it frequency? Is it a frequency of grading? Like, what is it that makes something like that better?
It's two things. One is frequency and the other is moisture.
Mm-hmm.
If
Which
we,
we have not.
if we had moisture, it would help to hold the road after grading. In this case, we graded, they were in good shape. We've had almost zero rain since that point in time. And like I said, the chloride trailer was down when they graded before. We don't want to put chloride down now because we're going to grade in the next few days. So once that's done and we get the chloride on, it'll pack down and hopefully hold for the fall. If not, we'll have to go over again.
And what's like the rotation of grading each of the dirt roads?
When you say rotation.
Well, is
Frequency
it a
or-
set schedule of every 3 weeks, every month, as needed?
It's basically as need, because once you grade them all, Lisa, some will get much worse than others, such as the ones with high traffic. Bailey's Mills, Town Hill, Caper Hill. Those are 3 historical problem areas, just because of the volume of traffic. So it's as needed once you get them all done.
I can probably give a short update on that grant too. So I've been looking into a possibility of grants for a new town garage. And I spent a bit of time looking at a project that's called Timber for Transit recently. And we were invited to submit a project interest form. I was unsure whether a garage would actually be something that they would offer a grant for, mostly because of the fact that they wanted it to be more of a forward-facing project to highlight the use of wood materials. They did say that a town garage would in fact be an eligible project, but we were right up against the timeline for when pre-application would be available. I just felt that I sent out to the other select board members as well where I was at in the process. And I think we're a little early to be trying to submit for a grant because we really don't have a solid plan yet. So I'm hopeful that the thought process would be that throughout the winter, spend a bit more time trying to line up what might be our match for that, as well as have a solid design plan, et cetera, and then apply for a feasibility and implementation grant in the spring.
And that does not cover anything except a wood building, correct?
Yeah, that particular grant is for a wood composite building.
Okay. Questions? None? All right, EWP update, this is be the final update. All the projects are done, all four, actually 5 sites, because they broke one site down into two sections. They're all done. They have had their final review on the 27th or 28th of August. And to date, we have spent $251,438.50. We have 1,080 to submit right now, and the final report will probably run somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000. So another $3,000 or so in expenses. The grant, however, was in total $399,000. So there is no concern about some additional expenses. We're well below what they had originally estimated. So that is good news. The reports were all favorable from both Bob Thompson, who is with FR, I can never think of the acronym, but anyway, USDA, and from Roy Schiff, the engineer that we hired from SLR Engineering to design the projects in the first place. And he was out on the 27th or 28th of August, I found today, so.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was the last week of August, and we're waiting for that invoice. We'll be good to go on that.
Bob, you said the final report's still pending. Who is writing the final report?
Roy Schiff.
Roy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I called him today and left him a voicemail message. He didn't pick up, so I asked him when we'd be getting that.
Great.
That's what I got. Any questions? Wastewater update.
Sure. Our Vice President Lisa Morrison recently attended the Vermont Community Leadership Summit, where she heard presentations from Londonderry, Highgate, Waitsfield, and Wolcott about their wastewater projects, the challenges they faced, what worked well for them, and what they would change if they were doing it again. In yesterday's meeting, we discussed the materials we plan to share with the residents at the Fall Festival, so the community can learn about the purpose of a communal wastewater system and to get a sense of some of their questions and concerns about a project of this scale. We're inviting the engineers from Dubois and King to attend the next monthly meeting scheduled for October 20th. And we're preparing a list of specific questions about funding and logistics to ask so that we can take full advantage of their attendance.
Okay, good. Any questions? Any thoughts? Geez, quiet meeting.
Thanks, Dallas.
Yeah.
Or at least it was. Jenny Road fall closure. I know some of you here are here to talk specifically about that subject, so I'm kind of just throwing it out there.
I guess I could start it off. I had the last couple of years. We would like to do it again. Obviously, I think you've heard from most of the residents through via email and maybe a handwritten letter from one. So it has helped tremendously in the past 2 years. We'd like to do it again. I don't know how busy it's going to be this year. We never do, but it's just for the safety of all the residents on the road. As you all know, a couple of years ago, it was a super safety hazard, so I'd like to continue it and as long as we can. I know last year there were some concerns about the people parking on 106 on that blind corner. And we had requested some bigger signage we didn't get last year. We just had the road cone with the fixed sign on the side of the road, so if we can get a little bit better signage and maybe a sign that says don't park on 106, but I don't know if that'll, we can.
Yeah, go ahead. I contacted Agency of Transportation, District 4,
Yep.
and asked them about putting up some no parking on traveled surfaces signs at the top of the hill and near the bottom of the hill. I have not heard back whether they'll do that for us or not, but I'll follow up and see what the status is. One suggestion that came in with one of the letters was that maybe the road closure sign should be down nearer the road so they didn't start up towards Eve and Jim's place before they said, whoa, we can't, I'm not supposed to go here. If we could put it right on the edge of the pavement,
Yep.
then that might alleviate that problem. But I don't know what it'll do with about 106. But if we can keep the traffic moving down the hill, or not allow them to turn coming up the hill, that would help a lot, I think. That's just, depends on whether AOT will let us, we'll either put them up or let us put them up temporarily.
Or were you thinking with the AOT signs like the ones they had in Woodstock, the large display boards that have the flashing?
I wasn't thinking of anything when I asked him. I just asked him about no parking on the traveled surface and left a message, but so I don't know the status.
I just wondered if it was up in that turnaround at the top of the hill, like across from Laura Gordon's, if that would be.
If they have them, I guess we could ask for that.
So you're just asking for permission to put signs up, or you're asking for the actual signage?
It'll depend on whether they'll do it or not. If they'll do it, that would be great.
Yeah.
Then it'll be per their standards. If they won't do it, will they allow us to do something at least through middle of tail end of October, and we can pull them.
In my opinion, it should be a more compelling argument to try to help us out with the signage based on the fact that where they're turning off of is a main road versus in Woodstock where you're behind the Billings farm and you know, that's a quiet back road versus somebody whipping over the top of that hill and finding a bunch of parked cars in the roadway.
Right.
So it might be helpful to push that home.
So I guess that's contingent on whether we vote to close it or not.
Well, I think that we've had a lot of representation here for the people that are affected through letters and actually showing up at the meeting, so that's beneficial. Does anybody want to add to what they wrote?
From our position at the interchange, it's a problem that really exists all year long. After coming up the hill from out of South Woodstock, where the traffic is being slowed down because of the town and the Horse Association, they then use the hill as a speedway. And as they approach Jenny Road, it's a blind curve coming into it. So even for the best of us, getting out into the road can be a challenge, and you know, quite often it's not something that just exists because of the tourists. It's something that exists year round, you know, so just to give maybe more emphasis to the safety of everyone, the tourists and the residents.
agree with you. Pulling out onto 106 from your road is, you have to stop and open your window so you can listen.
Yeah.
Can I piggyback off Supervisor?
Sure, absolutely.
Sorry, I've never done this before. I would go into the category other, I think. My husband and I emailed in reference to Route 106 and the speed limit and the crosswalk. The crosswalk has been actively ignored, probably all day, every day. The kids are going to school, coming from school, nobody is stopping. I literally just stopped somebody just now because my son was going to bike over into the school, and he was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, I didn't know there was a crosswalk." Like, he literally stopped and felt terrible. So I had sent signage that we had seen up by Billings, that maybe we could just put a reminder, like yield to pedestrian state law, just right in the middle of the two yellow lines. That's where they had it over by Billings Farm, which seemed to be pretty effective. And then also to decrease the speed limit if possible, since we're going through a school zone. I know Woodstock and also Cavendish Elementary School is 25 miles per hour. And even when I work over at Prosper's 30 miles per hour, and that's not, it's not village, right? So I think that maybe if we could have a conversation about the speed limit, since we're finding that it is, I guess, excessive with speed and people are kind of traveling 50 miles per hour. I mean, a lot of trucks in the morning, God forbid somebody is in the cross, they can't stop. Like, so it's a pretty big safety hazard. And then if we could just start with a sign for the crosswalk so the kids are at least safely crossing the road from the school to home. Because I know sometimes like the kids are coming down 106 from the village and going to the school.
I will see what we can do with AOT. I don't know if they've got them or if we have to buy them. Do you know?
I don't know that.
Either way, we can take a look at that. I think that those signs that you're referring to are a deterrent by themselves because it tends to narrow up the road, so to speak. You know, you have to,
Yeah.
you have to miss them, and that tends to slows me down if I forget.
Yeah, and I think also the school being paved and the kids now going down to bike is also maybe new, they're not used to so many children, and plus now we live across the street, so I have two kids that are going back and forth, so it might also just be a new kind of transition for everyone to realize that that's there and to slow down.
Let's see what we can do.
Thank you, appreciate it.
We can't do anything about the speed limit. That's controlled by the state because it's a state road.
Is that something that we could speak to the state about? Or?
We can do that, but they make the final decision. That's my point.
Okay. Yes, I did not think that was under control, thank you.
Yeah.
I just thought maybe we could have a conversation.
Right.
Thanks.
Alicia, thanks for bringing that up. That was one of the things that I wanted to bring up in other.
Oh,
So you just
did?
saved me from all the
Oh,
talking,
right.
so that was great, thanks.
Yeah, we don't want to be those people, we just moved in a few months ago, we don't want to be those people that are causing havoc, but it's just become it's a pretty big safety concern, just with all the kids and
Great.
the village becoming much more of a walking space.
We have the flashing lights already, so it would seem to me that they would be more receptive to putting it up so many miles per hour when flashing, etc.
I'm not sure they're flashing at the right time during the day.
No, that's another issue.
Okay.
That's,
And that's an AOT issue too.
that's,
That's AOT.
unfortunately, that's been an issue ever since we put those signs up there years ago, that power outages and things like that just drive them crazy as far as the time goes, and we have to get somebody from AOT here to reprogram them, so we can mention that as well.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Is the crosswalk clearly marked at this point, or is it faded?
It looks like it's painted on the street.
Yes.
That's fine, but there's no indication in
That it's
either
there.
direction that it is there.
Gotcha.
And that's, tonight was an example that Alicia was just
I
citing
felt
where,
bad for poor guy, so I was kind of annoyed, I was like, hello? Like,
yeah.
but you also see a child with a bike waiting to cross the street, so it's a little bit like.
On the striped white space,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
I mean, could you slow down a little? And it's, so it's become a little bit of a concern.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bob, so on that subject, what's the process that we have to follow if we want to so there are two things, there's a sign and then there's the potential for lowering the speed limit in the school zone during school hours.
I when I call them about the Jenny Road signs, I
Yep.
find out what the process is. I don't know if we can just go buy one of those signs and plop it in the middle of the
Yeah.
road. Being a state road, I doubt it. They would have to come down and okay it, I guess, but I'm not sure of that either. I just don't know. But I'll ask that question tomorrow, if I can get him on the phone.
Yeah, thank you.
So back to voting to close or not close and the time frame.
You have one more question about.
My question is about jurisdictions. Who is the jurisdiction responsible for signs on 106 and on Jenny Road, and where's the line of demarcation?
Jenny Road is a town road, so we have jurisdiction for signs on it from about 25 feet away from the center line of road of 106. Anything else on 106 is within their jurisdiction.
The town, or
State.
State.
the state?
Along 106 would be the state. And the minute you turn onto Jenny Road, within, say, 25 feet of the center line, then it's ours.
So you literally can't put a sign any closer to 106?
Oh, I think we could. I don't think that there would be any issue with that. It's a temporary sign. It's a safety issue, and I don't think anybody from AOT would ever come and say, move the sign up the road 5 feet or whatever. I think
Because people come in and they can park before but the sign is far enough back that we have people parking right there between the road and the sign.
my idea would be to have the road closed sign as close to the white line as possible and still have it safe for people shooting down the hill.
And then is there anything in the jurisdiction that you could have, like, all the way down, cones? When they had the horses recently, they put the cones in the middle of the road, and that really made a difference.
That is something I've thought about. Duration is probably what's going to control that ability, and whether we could put cones up there without having to remove them every day, I don't know. I have no idea about that. We've never run into that before. Because if you put them up there and leave them all night, I don't know.
Highway Patrol gave us cones for that area of our lower drive, lent them to us. We had to go pick them up, and then we took them back, but that blocked off our lower drive.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a possibility.
Yeah, you can we can control where the cones go on the town road, but not on the state road.
Right.
I got a lot of questions for them tomorrow. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll just drive
Sounds like
up.
a big day.
It's not gonna answer the phone when he sees you.
I will see what I can find out tomorrow.
So that brings us back to the question.
Still looking for a motion or not.
So I'll make a motion then that we close Jenny Road to residents only. And what are the dates that we want to put in this closure?
Has to be
For
through
the
Columbus Day
season.
weekend or.
Yeah,
Any
you'd have to go
Yesterday.
through,
From yesterday?
I think you have to go through the holiday weekend, and then after that, it would be, what do the trees look like? I mean,
Yeah.
if it's
Right.
if the leaves are mostly gone or just kind of yellow, I don't know, but at least through Columbus Day, which is late this year,
The 13th.
13th. Yeah. So-
So the 1st through the 13th.
Wanna say through
And then after that,
I would go earlier than disperse if we could.
At least a week, I think the last week of September to
is
the
good too.
15th of October. But I'm just throwing it out there. If anybody's got a different idea, that'd be fine.
When we go through the weekend, why don't we say the 19th of October, which is a Sunday, get us through that weekend.
And
And starting this Friday? Yeah. Which is the 19th of September.
so a full month.
I believe it was a month last year.
What was that, Chase?
I believe it was a month last year.
Was it?
Yep.
Well, I can certainly have the boys take them up Thursday afternoon. Because they don't work Fridays. I'm up on both ends.
I have no problem with that.
And we'll, maybe in the meantime, I'll find out.
Guys good with that? Okay.
I'll find out from AOT what they'll do for us, if anything.
Okay.
And if not, what we can do,
Right. Perfect.
if anything.
Vanessa, do I need to clarify that rambling motion that we just made? No? Okay, good.
Second. I'll second.
Sometime in September, sometime in October, I think is
Right.
what you got to.
Sometime September, sometime in October, we'll close some road somewhere. Okay, got it.
Well, I'm in favor, if there's no objection set in here. The only objection that I see in all of the emails was more of an objection because of the safety issues on 106 than it was an objection for closing the road. Even though he said in the email, he didn't think we should close it unless we could keep 106 moving.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
I think the signage at the top of the hill is very important.
Did we finally vote on that?
I seconded.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Maybe I can actually get them to come down here, take a tour in the next couple of days.
Did any of you folks that live like Mildy and Jim, did you guys happen to take any pictures of what it looked like on 106 from your house?
Abby Rowley has the best.
Okay.
I don't think, we looked through our phones to see if we'd taken any pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't find any, and neither can Jim. But, you know who did take pictures is the newspaper. Woodstock newspaper had pictures.
Standard?
The standard? That's a good idea.
Yeah,
We can reach out to somebody there and see if we have any pictures that might be more of an argument towards, you know,
Right.
what they can do for us for signs.
Right.
It really, I do think it's dangerous. But I do want the road to be closed for your sakes.
yeah. And we couldn't put any sorts of things along 106 where they park, just off the road, almost off. Mostly on 106. Whose jurisdiction is that?
Well, if it's 106, it's still the
It
state.
is, so it is the
Yeah.
same.
But
This is 25 feet from
Yeah.
the center of the.
Yeah.
let's see what they say, because they're hearing this not only in Reading, but Pomfret and other places. And so let's see what they'll say, what they'll do for us. Okay,
And thank you for addressing it.
no problem. Other.
Any others?
Sorry.
Gina, did you have another?
Just real quick, you know, anyone who could pay some attention to the fact that the school board last Monday voted unanimously, so all 8 towns, to ask our state legislature to reconvene sometime this fall, to decouple, disconnect capital construction debt from per pupil, this per pupil spending formula. You know, right now, as of last year, about a year ago, and this is after 20 years of not doing so, where the state supported the building of schools. Now, per pupil spend is coupled with capital spend, and there's a threshold limit on it. So if you try to borrow money and you go over the limit, the taxpayer ends up spending $2 for every $1 to pay the state back. That was supposed to be fixed before the passage of A73, the sweeping election reform bill, but they didn't do it. Some people think, as it came up in the meeting, that it was done intentionally or not done intentionally to keep schools like our high school from putting out bonds to fix themselves. Of course, nobody's stressing up to that. The governor said he didn't want to reconvene, but there will be a meeting between school board folks and some of our legislators next week in Woodstock to look at this, Tonight, there was a story on WCAX where Charlie Kimball said he thought it's worth fixing. I'm just saying, take a look at this, because it's terribly onerous on taxpayers. The Woodstock High School needs repairs desperately that we can't afford under a $2 for every $1 situation. And just to give you an idea, the Burlington High School got fixed, so now the Woodstock High School is officially the worst building in the state of Vermont. And we can't post a bond to do even small repairs. And I gotta tell you, the pipes underneath the floor of the cafeteria are leaking. They have sensors on the roof over the gymnasium just to be sure that they'll know before the snow comes through the roof. I mean, it's just amazing. So I'm gonna be posting on Front Porch Forum either tonight or first thing in the morning about 5 different articles from Valley News, WCAX, Channel 5. You know, we've got Vermont Public writing another one, all talking about this. So if you wanna read those articles and familiarize yourself and contact your congresspeople and tell them, see if you can find a way to reconvene so you can decouple this thing, like you said you were gonna do before you passed it, Act 73. We'd sure appreciate it. That's,
Oh, can I only add
That's-
slight
Sure.
modifications, not Congress, it is our
our
state
state legislature, yeah.
include Charlie Kimball as our representative, and then our 3 senators,
Allison
Allison
Clarkson,
Clarkson, Rebecca White,
right.
and Joe Major.
Major, right, sorry, I shouldn't, yeah, it's our state legislature, and it's both, the Senate, which is what I meant to say, and the House.
But those 4 people.
Yes, those 4 people would be the ones but it's really getting critical.
We had that problem right in Reading when we built the new school down here. The school bond threw us over the threshold for years. And taxpayers in Reading paid the price, and John Fike and the school board at that time lobbied as much as they could in small town, number 1. Didn't have a group like you've got, number 2, and it went nowhere. But
Yeah,
it was expensive for some of us.
killer. Thank you very much for the moment.
Any other?
I wanted to tell you, so first of all, I haven't dropped the ball on the solar in town garage, so first of all, just say to Glenn and Scott, I so appreciate the work they've done on Jamie Road, they've done great work. I also took the opportunity to chat with them a little bit while they were out there and talk a little bit about the garage building as well. So we'll talk at the Energy Committee meeting this Thursday about feasibility, but I will say at first blush, it looks like it could make some sense. But I just wanted to add, we're gonna dot our i's and cross our t's on that. So, but anyway, generally, in theory, it could make some sense. So I just wanted you to be aware of that as you're having those conversations. And to clarify the numbers, you know, Bob, you asked me to like look into that a little bit, but not go crazy about it. When I was saying 30%, it is true. The garage uses 30% of everything that isn't the firehouse. So if you take the firehouse out, it's 30% of the rest.
Okay.
But it's about 22% of the total electricity consumption. And the third thing I just wanted you all to know is that Calista and I filed with the IRS, and it was successfully accepted. It doesn't mean we're getting our money yet, but it means that we didn't screw it up. The many forms and
Means we
many
did good.
numbers that were supposed to be in the right places and the right documentation were all there, and they said that's good, and they're now going to review it. But there's $33,000 on the come if we are not successful in that. So that just went through last week. So hopefully that will work out.
So I have some more homework for you. You say we're using 22% of everything that the firehouse doesn't use. Based on that, if the barn was not positioned to make the roof the right place to put it, how many solar panels do you think we would need to power just the barn? Just the barn, just
yeah, so first let me say, like, the analysis that I'm doing is exactly the one that says, imagine that the garage was independent, so that it's doing its own thing for itself. The first thing is, with that extra power that gets freed up, can we use it with the buildings that we have, or are we just gonna overbuild? We don't wanna overbuild. That's the part where I'm feeling like, the fact that we're putting in heat pumps, et cetera, my first and second and extremely conservative calculations say we will be able to absorb that extra from the garage as soon as we start switching over from energy costs that are and use that's propane and oil in some of these buildings, even partially towards heat pumps. So then to your question,
You don't have
if you don't situate it right, you overspend for materials. You know, like it wouldn't make much sense to build it in a way that was facing north. Right? Like the only way you could do it would be, you know, the one place you could put panels would be facing to the north. Like, you have to put a lot of panels on to be able to make what you want. So you want to do it smartly so that you can minimize the number of panels to get the power that you need. So, but there's some latitude in that. It doesn't have to be perfectly set.
I was thinking more of panels on the ground.
Oh,
like
ground.
Up here, like up here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we were thinking roof. We were all thinking roof, that's okay.
Yeah, we were thinking roof. Yeah. Roof is cheaper. I mean, that's why we tried to do the firehouse roof first. We're going to spend 9% less or 15% less than we did. So we're going in thinking, at least the operating assumption, and I also had that conversation with them, was site on the roof, orient the whole thing, orient the building so that you can do that. It seemed like they felt like there was some flexibility on the site to be able to do that, but I don't know what you think about that. Bob, if you actually think like there's no, like maybe if we want to talk a little bit about siting, just rule out if that's a possibility, but I'm generally thinking if we can orient one side of the roof roughly to the south, southeast, southwest a little bit is fine, like somewhere in that zone is great.
Well, we gotta take into account everything else that we keep up there too, such as sand piles and gravel piles and stuff like that.
Right.
May or may not work. We're a long ways from having to.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, and I understand that too, and I'm just responding to a request, I'm not.
All right, fair enough.
So on the subject of energy, I'll just give you a quick update on the 2 Merck projects that I'm working on. Rewiring the attic here at Robinson Hall was supposed to start either last week or this week. This week's not over yet, so I'm hopeful Bright Light will start this week, but I got a call into them to nudge them along. It's kind of like herding cats for the last 3 months. We also have 2 mini split system. All the mini split system quotes are now in, at least the minimum number I need, which is 2 for each building, which is Robinson Hall and the food shelf. Food shelf on a first look. We had to make some compromises in the system size to get a closer budget. We'll probably have to use all of our contingency money, all of our soft costs, and probably the appliance money in order to install to do both the rewiring and the mini splits there. But the food shelf does not feel it has a high priority need for new appliances at this stage. So they're fine with us putting that money into a mini split system. And I've reviewed it in great detail with both Diane and Jim. And so, I mean, that one we're ready to pull the trigger on if the select board gives us the green light. I mean, I've never fully understood the decision-making process on this, but anyway, we're ready to go to the next stage. With the food shelf, I gotta sit with Bob on the quotes for this building, so we're not ready to pull the trigger on this beyond the rewiring, which we've already pulled the trigger on. So.
And the insulation.
And the insulation, correct. So we're trying to get it so that at minimum we get the insulation in the attic before the snow flies. That's my goal for this building, and it's not critical we get the mini split system in the food shelf before the snow flies, but I'm pretty confident we can. The rewiring there is a little more complicated. The mini split's pretty straightforward there.
Thanks, Bill.
Anything? Any other?
No other others?
Nobody? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, thank you for coming, folks.
Thanks, everyone.
Everyone.